is after him. That could be picked off by Colt Cruz at the 28. He's loose. He's going to go all the way. Touchdown, Tigers.
Get it on the jet sweep to the short side. Up the sideline. Sam McCaffrey. He is gone. Touchdown, Ottawa.
Wilder's going to catch it right at the 50. Looking for some room coming down here to the bottom to the left. He's got a lot of room. Watch out. He's gone. He's gone, Coach. Wilder's going to take that 50 yards for a score. Bulldogs on the board.
Glad to have you back with us for the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gerken Companies. Joined again by Tory, Strock to my right and Neil Schuller to my left. I am Lynn Groll. On to week number 8, guys.
Unbelievable.
Final 3 weeks of the regular season coming up as we're going to talk week 8 here. Have the Gerken Company's rock solid performance to hand out here in a little bit. The Game 1 awards from last week as well for the NLL, CHSL, courtesy of Neil Schuller. Good to have you back, Schuller.
Thanks.
Where
Good
the
to
heck
be back.
You been?
Well, you know, work unfortunately called me out of town last week and missed it, but I did tune in and as well to Rise and Rewind, so I'm all caught up, boys.
Yeah, we had to record Rise and Rewind Saturday. We had some network issues here, but we're glad to have you back. We missed you.
Good to be back, for sure. I do have one piece of unfinished business.
I know. Andy Brungard sent something with you.
He did.
And I've been waiting patiently.
Did he send a jersey or a helmet or something?
I will tell you, it is I believe it is wall worthy. I believe it definitely belongs in our collection. It is autographed. And the story behind this was a certain colleague of ours, Lynn, that will remain nameless at this point, but made a statement that said, I'm going to take Whitmer, but I might kick myself if I'm wrong. So Mr. Brungard autographed this signage for you to put, right on your back there. Hold that up for our viewers that are watching. Yeah,
I was going to put it in front of me here.
Yeah, there you go.
I got some tape in my bag right over there.
Yeah.
We're a week late with this, though.
We are a week late, but it's going to go on our collection wall here because that's an autographed piece of memorabilia. Well, the Kick Me sign.
I did. Those were my exact words.
Maybe you should have to wear that on your forehead.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, those were my exact words, and anyone who listens regularly, they know what this means. Mm-hmm. But I didn't have the courage to pull the trigger on that, and I paid for it.
Mm-hmm. Coach Brungard, I tried to get him to come with me, Robbie Myers and myself, last Thursday when we gave you your Gerken Company's Rock Solid Performance Award. He turned me down. Now I know why.
Yeah, probably
he was worried about the backlash he was going to take there at Anthony Wayne High School that night.
Yeah, we've got a strong bond there, me and Coach Brungard and those kids, and hopefully it's strong enough to withstand that. And I got burnt. I'm not wrong very often, boys, but every once in a while.
You were wrong quite a bit in our pick'ems last week because I closed the gap on you.
Yeah,
I'm inching closer as we got 3 weeks to go.
I'm a big picture guy. I look at the standings. There's some individual battles, and you won a couple battles this week. But who's winning the war? The war.
The cream is going to rise to the top.
Yeah, the cream's at the top.
But it's not over yet.
No,
we're not finished.
We
got 3 weeks to go, and then the playoffs. Do we want to start over in the playoffs, or do you want me to just keep adding to my total once I take over the lead on you boys?
That's a good question. Do we make a regular season and a playoff edition?
Well, what did we do last year when I won it?
I don't remember. I don't even remember him winning it. Did he?
Maybe we can do it this way. How about if we do a regular season and then playoffs and then cumulative to see if there's any variance?
I like it. I'm okay.
And if you win all three, that would be what we call the Triple Crown.
Okay. Like Tarek Skubal here.
Yeah. Braden Martin sent me an updated list of our picks. He's went back through the 2020 season, even before you guys were around, and he has a list of our picks. You know that you are 31-0 picking Liberty Center in your 3 years as part of BSF. 31-0, Braden told me today.
That's pretty impressive.
Never gotten one of their games wrong.
Wow.
Now, they haven't lost much in those
They haven't made it overly difficult, but 31-0.
That's impressive.
I'd have thought maybe I missed one in the playoffs or something somewhere along the lines, but wow.
There's been a few games that you broadcast, so that's why it's their grand total for the 3 years.
Quite a few in my time here.
31-0. I'll be darned.
Yeah, you'll have to look at that when you get a chance.
Yeah.
I sent you the link, but he says he has it updated now.
Okay, because the original link, I wasn't able to.
He wasn't totally done with it yet, but you'll have to check that out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Boy, he's a numbers guy, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
One of the best.
Oh, man.
Yes, he is. We have the Gerken Company's rock solid performance to hand out. We're going to hear from the Gerken Companies, come back, and we'll give you our nominees from Week 7 around the area.
Who says a college degree is the only path to a fulfilling career? At the Gerken Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods with or without a degree. Gerken provides a generous benefits package, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. We're looking for rock-solid performers to help build and reinforce the region's infrastructure. Whether you have construction experience or are just starting your career, apply now at gerkencompanies.com/careers.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast, presented by the Gerken Companies. Coach Strock has got to get his autograph sign hung up here.
Hey, I gotta own it. You know what I mean?
The best thing you can do right now.
Coach Brungard took the time to acknowledge that, so he's watching and listening. So we owe the old boy this.
I like that.
There we go. That's good. That's good.
I don't want to tack this duct tape down too hard on this new
don't
table.
want to tear the finish off of there.
Don't mess it up.
There, that looks good.
I wonder if they have a photo or something of you hung in their locker room and they've drawn all over it and all that good stuff.
There's a chance with a quote coming out of my mouth or something. They got it done. That was it. You weren't here following that game on Monday, but boy, AW put it on them that night, didn't they?
Man, it was a one-sided affair, and that's really the only way that you can say it. Whitmer mounted a nice 2-minute drill going into halftime, drove the length of the field on some quick outs, a couple little screen passes, just quick hit stuff, but had to settle for the field goal, and that was that. It was a pretty impressive win by Anthony Wayne. Showed me a lot about this Anthony Wayne team. If you're going to stop them, you better be prepared to stop the run, which is a multifaceted affair, even at that, between Braden Gardner, Grant Kinney, and company.
Agree.
Yep, good stuff. Gerken Company's rock-solid performance from Week 7. Maumee beat Genoa 33-13. Tenora 3-0 over Wayne Trace. And a big one in the GMC. Liberty Benton 38-21 to take over control in the BBC. BG over Southview 20-14, and maybe a surprise to many. Whitmer bounced back. Liberty Center at Patrick Henry. How about Edgerton going to Paulding? Just a few of games that stuck out from our area a week ago.
I had 3 of those on my list, Lynn. The first one of them you mentioned was Whitmer over Perrysburg. So Perrysburg comes into that game holding opponents to 5.8 points per game, and Whitmer puts up 27 on them. So I would throw the Whitmer Panthers in, particularly coming off of the rebounding from what happened the week before that. Pretty impressive, pretty rock solid. I had Edgerton over Paulding. I thought that was a nice signature win for Edgerton. Maumee over Genoa. Impressive win there by Maumee against a tough Genoa team, definitely making their case. So I have that one in there as well.
Yeah, similar list. Lipsick over Macomb at Macomb. It takes a rock-solid effort to beat Macomb, especially at their place. They haven't lost much. Bowling Green needed that quote-unquote signature win, and they got that against Southview. What Maumee did to a 5-1 Genoa team was impressive, 33-13. Edgerton, I agree. Liberty Benton, that was for essentially for the marbles in the BVC. So that's a heck of a performance as well by the Eagles over a good Pandora Gilboa team.
Liberty Center in a rock fight at Patrick Henry for all intensive purposes, the NWL championship a week ago. We were there for, Tory and I were, 21-15.
Yeah, that one will go down. There's been a lot of classics between those two teams, but that's on the list.
That's one of them, yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
Both teams laid it on the line, man. They really did. Honestly, I would be okay with. I like all those candidates we mentioned.
You got to pick one.
They're good.
You got to pick one.
Well, if I had to settle on one, it'd be Maumee. Trying to get over that hump as newer members of the NBC, and to put a stamp on it like they did against Genoa, that was impressive. But again, Liberty Benton, since that Grove setback, they've been dynamite. Their body of work's pretty impressive. Just that one blemish.
Yep. Out of the list that I have, Maumee was the one that I had circled. It's so funny. Just not that long ago, we were talking about Maumee in a very different context than what we do today. And in short order, under Evan Karchner, this team has really come along to the point that now they're 5-2, winning key games as they go through the NBC. And honestly, the road ahead here looks favorable to them. They got a Week 10 tilt against Otsego that's going to have something to say about it, but I like what Maumee did there. I think that's a big win and a big statement in the NBC, so I'm going to cast my vote for Maumee Panthers.
Well, that's 2 votes for him, so that settles it. Maumee, Week 7 rock solid performance, courtesy of the Gerken Companies and Black Swamp Football. Robbie Myers and myself will get to Maumee on Thursday at some point and hand out the bracelets and give a quick speech that nobody needs to really listen to.
That's all right.
I'm sure there's some value in there.
I'm sure there is somewhere.
Yeah.
Robbie Myers has got some value. I don't know about myself.
I wonder, is he a fire and brimstone guy? I can't see him.
He can. He coaches track here at Liberty Center.
Yeah, he does.
So he's got some coaching background, and he also coached football a few years with Coach Lindgren as well.
He did. Robbie's well-rounded.
He is.
He's well-rounded. He's got an impressive resume. Nothing more impressive, though, than his years at the Gerken Companies.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Played for the Tigers in the early 80s as well, and played on some pretty good teams. We have some good talks on our ride around Northwest Ohio on our trips to hand out the Gerken Company's rock solid performance. Congratulations to Evan Karchner and the Panthers. We'll get you the bracelets and head on over there on Thursday at some point. Coach Karchner and the Maumee Panthers. Game 1 awards from Week 7. Neil Schuller.
Yes, I'm going to start on the defensive side of things. Honorable mention to Joe Sinney at Perrysburg. We've talked about that young man quite a bit. He is as advertised and a tremendous linebacker who was everywhere making plays all night. But the award this week defensively is going to go to Whitmer defensive lineman Brandon Dempsey, a guy who is as physical as they come, right in the trenches, playing big school ball. There were, in the first half, I was telling you guys before we jumped on air here, there were 2 instances where Perrysburg was at the 2 and 3 yard line respectively and got held out from scoring. It could have easily been a 14-6 Perrysburg lead at halftime. It was not, and Dempsey was right in the middle of that. So Brandon Dempsey, congratulations, our Game 1 Defensive Player of the Week. On the offensive side, Josh Tackett's at Perrysburg, we've talked about him, had a great night. Brady Ford, another great night. TJ Hutchin, Joey Morales, back from injury, put up 2 scores, but none of those guys are going to be my winner this week. However, the guy who I thought, and I should say guys in this case, worthy of this award and the difference maker was the offensive line for Whitmer. They collectively are going to be the Game 1 Offensive Players of the Week.
Wow. you okay with that with game one? That's a lot of hardware to hand out.
Is more than happy to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we are good to go there. So congratulations to the Whitmer offensive line and Brandon Dempsey, the defensive lineman for the Whitmer Panthers.
You think that whooping they took at Anthony Wayne was a wake-up call maybe that they needed, Neil?
Talking to both coaches and players pre and post game, I think that really was. It was a wake-up call. Everybody who I talked to talked about the week of practice.
Okay.
And it sounded like it was a major mindset shift, very intentional, very focused on practice this week, this past week, I should say, leading up to that game. So I do believe that was a definite wake-up call. And, at the end of the day, they had to get that victory to keep themselves in the Buckeye Division conversation. Not all the way done yet, but they had to get that win to stay relevant, and they did.
They'll be Perrysburg fans week 10, won't they?
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yep.
You might want to get your parking spot for week 10, Schuller.
Coach Brungard will take care of me.
He's pretty confident.
Yeah. Very confident.
You got to pick a couple more games here before we get to that.
Oh, yeah. We're ready to go.
Those parking spots right up there by the locker room there.
Oh, those are all reserved.
He's not getting those.
Those are high dollar ones.
Oh, yeah. Those are all boosters, supporters. I tell you what, we got canned koozies. I give out 50 of them pre-game, courtesy of game one. They don't last long at Anthony Wayne. No. Let me tell you what, 50 goes pretty quick. But yeah, it will be a challenge week 10 at Schuller Stadium for sure to get a parking spot. You might be parking up at the Marathon up by the roundabout.
That's what I was going to say, out there at JoJo's Pizza. Or
I'll be parking at 24. Jeez.
Yeah, might be. Might have to get an Uber from downtown Waterville or something.
We park here and see if Glenn will take you.
Yeah, Glenn. Oh, Hopper would. Are you kidding me?
He would.
Curbside.
Yeah.
Liberty Center home that week, though?
10?
Yeah.
Good question.
One moment, I'll let you know.
That's a good question.
May depend on that if he's here at the tailgate or
I was going to say, if they're home, no shot Hopper's going anywhere. They're at Wauseon.
Oh, you might have a chance then for Hopper to drop you off.
Well, he might be able to drop me off and then kind of, scoot up there to Wauseon afterwards on his way home. Do kind of a big loop.
That's true. Good point. Standings after last week, I was 30-5. Braden Martin 29-7. Tory 28-7. Neil Schuller 27-8. Overall standings through week 7. Tory 201-37. I'm 2 back at 199-39. Braden is 5 back, 246. And Neil Schuller 10.5 back, 191-48. Going into week number 8.
Yeah, I'm pleased.
You're pleased?
Yeah.
I just cut your lead in half.
The key word there? My lead. My lead.
It's shrinking.
Hey, I mean, that's going to happen. That's going to happen
If I knock off 2 more this week, we are tied. They're going into week 9 and 10, and that's bad news for you.
I'm going to run the football. Okay, I'm going to use the play clock.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to control this thing.
You only have a 1-possession lead right now. You might want to score some more points.
Ball security, baby. I'm not giving it up. I'm okay to win by 1 game. Just win, baby.
Well, we'll see.
We'll
see about that. Start our week 8 slate of games in the TAC. Hilltop is at Eden. The Cadets 1-5, 0-1, scoring 14.5 points per game, giving up 38.8. Eden undefeated on the season, scoring over 40, giving up just 12.1. Up in Williams County, this is pretty cut and dry for me. Bombers. Bomber ball.
Ooh, yeah, bomber ball. Ooh. Wow, yeah. If you're Eden, you want to, knock any rust off, stay healthy, number 1. But, they'll name their score here in this one. This is a tall order for the Cadets. Bombers they've hit their stride, man.
Bombers just need to stay healthy here the next couple weeks. Hilltop and then Richmond Heights coming to town before they go to the Village to face the Green Bears in week number 10 for the TAC title.
Yep, you guys mentioned everything there. Eden hitting stride, and not that they've ever lost stride, I don't think, since week 1. And, you look at Hilltop last week losing to Ottawa Hill 76-6. This could be a very similar type game, unfortunately, for the Cadets. Eden stay healthy, and you guys mentioned it, just a few weeks. That's going to be a big dust up in the village for sure.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, give me Eden.
Also in the TAC, Northwood 3-4, 0-2 in the TAC, scoring 22.9, giving up 23.3. They are at Montpelier, who is 2-5 and winless so far in the TAC. Locos scoring 20.1, giving up 33.9 points per game.
This is one of those that could go a ways in our standings, Mr. Groll.
I got the Rangers.
I do too.
Okay.
I do too. I thought, we'll see who Neil goes with. I'm going to go with Northwood as well. I thought for sure there'd be at least with Montpelier at home, 2-5, 3-4. I thought for sure somebody'd take Montpelier. Neil?
I've got the Northwood Rangers.
Do you?
Yeah, Coach Ken James will have those guys ready to go. Yeah. Understands, the importance of getting a league win here. Yeah. I like Northwood on the road in this one. Yeah,
chance to get to 4-4.
Yep.
You think the difference between 4-4 and 3-5 isn't that great. It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is, though.
Especially when you're setting at week 8.
Correct.
Ottawa Hills is on a bye this week with Cardinal Stritch canceling their season in the kind of the preseason there. They were unable to find a opponent here for week number 8, so the Green Bears are going to take the week off and get prepared for weeks 9 and 10. 8-man action in the Northern 8 Conference. Stryker is at St. Joseph Central Catholic this week. 2 teams that have 1 win each. Stryker scoring 23.7. Fremont St. Joseph 17.7. Stryker giving up almost 60 points per game. Fremont St. Joe giving up just 27.5 in comparison.
Yeah, I will go first on this one. Stryker, in my opinion, just giving up way too much on defense all season long. Give me St. Joe's Central Catholic at home to get the win here. I like their chances in this game a little bit better than Stryker.
I, too, am going to go with the Crimson Streaks of Fremont St. Joe.
I agree with that. A little bit better defensively. That 55.8 points per game allowed by the Panthers scares me a little bit. Toledo Christian off this week. Holgate is in a non-conference game that we will get to later on here in our podcast. Stay tuned after these messages. We're going to talk about the CHSL this week. The Swanton Welding Company proudly supports our local student athletes and coaches. We're committed to being your local steel fabrication company in Northwest Ohio and building projects across the country. For job opportunities at the Swanton Welding Company, visit www.swantonweld.com or visit them at 407 Zider Way in Swanton. Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gerken Company's Catholic High School League. St. Mary's Prep, 4-2, 2-2, scoring 43.2 points per game, giving up just 14, is at Central Catholic, 6-1, 3-1 in the CHSL Varsity Central Division. The Irish scoring 35.6, giving up 16. St. Mary's has some dudes. A lot of guys going to Michigan State.
Yeah, they're loaded with Michigan State commits. And a talented team here at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. They're going to come intent on knocking Central Catholic off, and they saw it with Detroit CC. So I think that they're smelling blood in the water, but I do think it's going to be a little bit too tall of a task. Central definitely hitting their stride right now. A great win 2 weeks ago, a gritty win over St. Ignatius on the road. St. John's last week is what it was, but give me the Central Catholic Fighting Irish at home. Awful tough to beat Coach Dempsey and crew at Gallagher Stadium.
Central Catholic fell to Detroit Catholic Central 21-7 in week 2.
Yep.
Detroit Central Catholic beat Orchard Lake St. Mary's Prep 27-22. Comparative scores for
27-22.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is...
They gave up about the same amount of points, but St. Mary's was able to score for a few more in that one, if that tells you anything.
I think I do think people will look at a 4-2 and 2-2 in the league record at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, go, okay, they're coming to Central, this will, Central Catholic just roll them over. Don't be so sure. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, as you said, Lynn, loaded with talent. They're going to give Central all that they want.
This will be a 48-minute game.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't pick against Central Catholic, especially at home. If they were on the road, maybe it's a little different. But as you guys said, it won't be easy. But I like Central Catholic.
I do too. I like Central in that matchup as well. Looking something up here.
Well, you look back to that Detroit CC game, that quarterback Isaiah Fox went out, I believe, in the first quarter of that game. A young Ali Badoun stepped in as a sophomore. They lost that game, obviously. Does a quarterback upheaval matter? I think it does. It changes momentum. It changes timing. It changes all kinds of things. Not blaming that loss on one individual. Obviously, it's a team effort. But now you have Central Catholic back healthy and at full strength. I think that's definitely an X factor piece when they're on point.
While Lynn's digging there, Neil, let me ask you, based on your knowledge, maybe you don't know anything, would you say that Central, St. John's, St. Francis have been fairly happy with the move to the Catholic High School League?
Yeah, I've talked to I've talked to athletic directors at all three schools. Obviously, Coach Dempsey being one of them, and I think that overall, and I think that obviously for us and what we do, we look at football, but the ancillary parts of that as well, the other sports. You look at basketball; it's very competitive, just like football. The ladies' sports with St. Ursula and Notre Dame. I think as a package, and especially looking at what other alternatives were available, I would say that they are pretty pleased, and I think that it's working out all well. Road games are what they are. Excuse me. They would have to travel that far or further for any road games anyplace else they would have gone. So I think overall level of competitiveness and just how things are working out, I'd say everybody's pretty happy.
Good.
I'm going to look up. Jermaine Gonzalez is coaching Orchard Lake St. Mary's, former Michigan player. I want to see if it was the same Jermaine Gonzalez.
And it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Jermaine Gonzalez.
3-year starter at quarterback. I think he shifted to receiver while he was at Michigan there in the early 2000s. Just wanted to look that up real quick after I did some digging. But I got the Irish in this one. I think they're going to get it done at home in that matchup. Also in the varsity Central this week, Detroit Catholic Central, who we just talked about, at St. John's. Tall task for the Johnnies this week.
Absolutely tall task. You got Detroit Catholic Central coming in 6-0, 4-0 in the league. They have put up big numbers. The closest game that they have played this year, you just mentioned it, Lynn, was at Orchard Lake St. Mary back in week 4, 27-22 victors. Otherwise, they've been putting up 30 to 50 a game.
Yep, they average 36.2, and they give up just 13.5.
Right.
It's a pretty good schedule.
Yeah, correct. And that's against that varsity A in the CHSL, so the big boy ball. I like where Detroit Catholic Central is. St. John's, as we've talked, looking for answers, looking for something, and it's not going to be found this week. Detroit Catholic Central wins this one.
Would St. John's beating Detroit Catholic Central be a bigger upset than Vandy knocking off Alabama?
It would be in that
same
vein.
scale.
Yeah, the goalpost may travel up Airport Highway. I don't know where it's going to end up, but it would be that type of an upset for sure.
Yeah, I got to go with Detroit Catholic Central. Can the Titans get a win this year, Neil? I see they have University of Detroit Jesuit week 10. They're 1-5.
That's the one. If they're going to get one, that is the one. They got Warren De La Salle coming in town next week. Now De La Salle's off a little bit compared to last year. They're still 3-2. Now their 2 losses: Toledo Central Catholic and Detroit Catholic Central. So they have a bye this week and time to get kind of rested up, and then they have Brother Rice ahead of St. John's. So De La Salle is going to be ready to go. I'm sorry, they had a bye last week. Brother Rice this week, St. John's the following. They'll be ready to go, and I think they're going to give St. John's fits. U of D Jesuit, if they're going to be 1-9, that's the one right there.
That's the one.
Yep, week 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with Catholic Central. I'd love to see them play.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was up with the wife in Ann Arbor a couple years ago, and I stopped in she was doing some shopping, or I think she was in an art fair actually. Says, I'm going to go get a beverage at the Irish pub down the street here. Bartender, he saw I had a Black Swamp football polo on. He said, what's Black Swamp football? I said, we cover Northwest Ohio teams. He said, you cover Central Catholic? Toledo Central Catholic?
Yeah.
I said, yeah. He said, well, I used to play at Detroit Catholic Central.
There you go.
He knew all about the Irish, let me tell you.
Yeah, no surprise.
He knew about Greg Dempsey and their whole crew there. I think he played maybe 10, 12 years ago. But man, he knew all about Northwest Ohio football, especially Central Catholic. But I like the Shamrocks too.
Yeah.
I think they're just going to be way too much for St. John's in that one. Varsity AA, St. Francis, they're going to try to bounce back at Dearborn Divine Child this week. St. Francis still scoring 36.6 points per game, giving up 27.9 now. Divine Child giving up 23, and they allow 17.7.
You know, a game here, St. Francis last week, hitting a buzzsaw with Lumen Christi. For those of you who don't know anything about Lumen Christi, Google it. You don't have to dig too deep to learn all you need to know about Lumen Christi. Got a running back there committed to Central Michigan, an absolute workhorse that gave them fits. St. Francis in that game last week turned the ball over twice in the first quarter. You can't have those kind of self-inflicted wounds in a game of that nature. You know, looking at Divine Child, they come into this one 4-2. They also lost to Lumen Christi 35-0. If you want a common opponent there, St. Francis still getting points going, and as that game went on, they were scoring. They got in the second half, started going kind of toe-to-toe. That early gap got to be a little bit too big for them, but I do like the Knights in this matchup against Divine Child. I think that they're going to get the win to improve to 6-2 and head into Cherry Street then. Actually, Central Catholic coming to St. Francis in week 9. But give me the Knights.
Give me the Knights too.
I too have St. Francis. I think they'll bounce back here. Divine Child, though, they didn't surrender as many points to Lumen Christi as
about half.
But
they didn't score any.
But they didn't score
anything.
They didn't score. And you got the Knights that put up 35 points.
That comparative scoring stuff can get you in trouble, though.
Yeah, it can. That's why I'm sticking with my pick, St. Francis.
I'm sticking with the Knights. We're going to be back here in 30 seconds to talk about the Western Buckeye League this week.
High school seniors, uncertain that college is right for you? Concerned about the cost of higher education? At the Gerken Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods even without a degree. That's a good living straight out of high school with no tuition debt. Starting pay between recent college grads and those with high school diplomas is closer than you might think. So if you enjoy teamwork, working outdoors, and being part of something meaningful, consider your options at gerkencompanies.com/careers.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gerken Companies. Trying to keep Coach Strock's attention here. We've got the Tigers game on in the background.
God, this cat from Cleveland just threw a 97-mile-an-hour belt-high fastball with no movement. Said, here, hit it out of the park and take a 1-0 lead, and we followed off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, it's bad enough to keep his attention without
Even
a
without
distraction like this.
Believe me, I know. I know, Schuller.
Good grief.
You know what I deal with.
No, I know. Absolutely. I don't know how you guys get from A to B. Thank God you do the navigating.
I have no comment.
I usually have to do the navigating for him because he usually doesn't know where the heck he's going.
I have no comment. I get us there, though, don't I?
You get us there. It takes some time, though. There's a few wrong turns in there.
Well,
there we go.
As long as you get there.
There's a gapper.
With plenty of time.
There's a gapper with one out.
One out here.
Going to throw him out at second.
Nope. They got a guy thrown out at second a little bit ago when I stopped in here to American Freedom Energy.
Yeah.
Not that time, though.
No.
Tigers have to have this one with Scuba on the mound.
Yeah.
They got to have this one. Western Buckeye League, maybe the hottest team in our area, the Defiance Bulldogs, on the road at Lima Bath. Defiance 5-2, 5-1 in the Western Buckeye League. Still have some hopes of getting a piece of the Western Buckeye League title if Walpock will slip up here in the final 3 weeks of the season. The Bulldogs now scoring 30 points per game, giving up 18.1. Bath 4-3, 4-2, 35 points per game, but they're giving up 32.9. The Bulldogs going to get win number 6 in a row.
I think they will, but on the road at Bath, you better have your antenna up. Bath trying to get to 5-3. Lima Bath sitting at number 10 right now in the current computer region. Defiance is in hosting mode, I think, right now. Yep. In their region. So this has potential to be a really good game.
What Bath team's going to show up, though?
Well, I was just going to say.
They got beat 26-0 2 weeks ago against Ottawa Glandorf. That was the wind week. Now, I don't know how much the wind and then the rain had to do with that one. But and then last week they fell 36-35 against a good Salina team. I don't know. I got the Bulldogs too. They're just a little bit more reliable right now.
Lynn, I think you mentioned it. In terms of like teams getting hot, right, and having that momentum. If you look at Northwest Ohio football right now, quite honestly, Defiance is one of the hottest teams going. Yeah. I think that they've got a ton of belief. They got a ton of momentum, and I like the Defiance Bulldogs to go on the road and get the win.
I do too. The man, the myth, the legend just stopped in here, Robbie Myers.
Future's
from
so
the Gerken
bright.
Companies.
He's got to wear shades.
Yeah.
We are going to Maumee on Thursday, Robbie. Make it short for you. I'll get you a time, buddy. All right.
Thank you, Robbie.
Thanks, Robbie. Appreciate it.
He always pops in on Monday to see who won the Rock Solid so he can make his plans, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Brief, but intentional.
I like it. I like it. He knows we got work to do.
Business taken care of, and heading out, probably out there getting some brats.
Some people would hover, and,
not Robbie.
He's all business.
Nope. All going to take Defiance in their matchup down at Lima Bath this week. Speaking of Wapak, who is leading the WBL at 7-0 overall, 6-0 in the Western Buckeye League, scoring 34.9 points per game, giving up just 13.3. They are at Elida, who is 2-5 and 1-5 in the Western Buckeye League. The Bulldogs scoring 19 points per game, giving up 28.1 so far. Any hope for the Bulldogs to pull off an upset at home here?
Well, I mean, Elida 2-5, but they have that.
They've shown some signs.
Well, they have that upset win over Salina under their belt, so they're capable. It's not like they're 0-7 and get beat by 50 every week. But
what, they put up 60-some against Bath a few weeks ago?
Yeah, 62-56. They lost, but 56.
I can't go against Coach Moyer and crew there.
No.
They got a little too much.
Wouldn't be surprised at halftime.
It's close.
Yeah.
None of these WBL games would surprise me. Ottawa Glandorf has improved drastically, I think, this season. Maybe Shawnee's the only team at this moment. They got hot to start the year, but have really cooled off since. Maybe the only team that you maybe don't see pulling off a big upset at this point. But, I got to take Wapak.
Wapak for me, too.
Yep, I have zero reason to believe right now that Coach Moyer and crew are going to do nothing but win, and maybe win big.
Yeah, they definitely could. Salina, 6-2, 4-2 in the Western Buckeye League, scoring over 30 points per game, giving up 21.7. They are at OG, who has showed some signs this season that they can beat anybody and maybe also lose to anybody, too. Titans are 3-4, 3-3 in the Western Buckeye League, scoring 22.6, giving up 22.4. So that tells you their games have been tight throughout the season.
Well, none tighter here than last week at overtime loss by 1 to Van Wert. Interesting, if you look at OG's schedule, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. So if you stay on that cadence, it would tell you that OG is going to come out on top of this, but I don't think that they do. Give me the Salina Bulldogs on the road to get this one done.
This is
Is it a coin toss?
Yeah. It is a coin toss. Not like the coin toss we saw Friday night at PH, where the official tossed the coin in the air and just caught it and opened his hand.
I don't think it got above his head, though.
It didn't. And it didn't even flip. He tossed it in the air, caught it, and opened his hand. I'm like, what is this? So it's not that kind of coin toss.
Can you toss a challenge flag on the coin toss?
It was weird.
It's like the movie Friday Night Lights, where it's you got 3 coins out there and you don't know where they are in this one, right?
Yeah. That's right. That's right. I'm going with Salina, even though it's kind of like the kick me thing here a couple weeks ago. Every fiber of my being wanted to go with Ottawa Glandorf in this one, especially being at home. Again, you said the pattern, they're due to win, but Salina, I think they're going to win a close one. I mean, why are we to think it won't be close? Should be. You know?
Should be, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Salina been a little more consistent for me, so I'm going to take the Bulldogs as well in that one. Lima Shawnee at Van Wert. Van Wert now 2-5, 1-5 in the Western Buckeye League. They're giving up 36 points per game. Shawnee 2-5, overall 1-5 in the WBL, scoring just 12.4, giving up 31.1. High scoring game. Both these teams have given up a lot of points this season.
I like the Cougars in this one myself. I think Shawnee's just struggling. Give me Van Wert.
Yeah, I got to go with Van Wert, especially at home. But
is that in the 30s or above?
I think Shawnee's going to be right there. I really do. I think Shawnee's going to be right there, 2-5, 2-5. Both been a little inconsistent. Van Wert maybe a fuzz more consistent, but I'm going with the Cougs at home. But Shawnee will be there for a while.
I'm going to take Van Wert in that matchup as well. Tigers just get a run here? What is going on?
Yeah, he got caught in a rundown.
Okay, totally lost. Anyway, also in the Western Buckeye League this week, Kenton is at St. Mary's. Kenton 2-5, 1-5. They played a bunch of close matchups. St. Mary's 5-2 overall, 4-2 in the Western Buckeye League. Giving up just 13.1 points per game are the Rough Riders this year.
Yeah, I like St. Mary's in this one. I think they've just been a little bit more consistent than Kenton at home this week. I think the Rough Riders are going to be just fine.
Yeah, instant replay. I'm sorry. I think that ball hit the ground, right?
I think it did. Definitely bounced.
Yeah, they're reviewing that. Yeah. I'm taking St. Mary's at home, but Kenton, boy, they've been close to spoiling a lot of parties throughout the year. They've got a chance in this one, but I think St. Mary's just gets it done with their ground and pound.
I agree. I think they have too much physicality in that matchup, and I think they will get the victory over Kenton in the Western Buckeye League round in our slate there. We're going to come back and talk about the NBC action this week. K. Kern Painting is a proud sponsor of Northwest Ohio Athletics. K. Kern Painting was formed in 1998 by Kinsey Kern in Toledo and now has a footprint in Toledo, Cleveland, and Michigan, and has road crews traveling throughout the United States. For a free estimate or job opportunities with K. Kern Painting, visit their website at kkernpainting.com or call 419-351-1250 or stop by their Toledo location at 211 North Reynolds Road. Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gerken Company's NBC action this week. Going to start with Otsego at Eastwood. The Eagles still unbeaten on the season, 7-0, 4-0 in the conference. Otsego 4-3, now 2-2. Knights giving up 19.7 points per game, scoring 19.6. Eastwood, one of the top scoring offenses in Division 5 and also one of the better defenses in D5, scoring 43.4 and giving up just 9 points per game so far.
Yeah, Otsego here the last 2 weeks have hit a tough patch, losing to Genoa and Oak Harbor, who is obviously rolling right now. Doesn't get any easier for Otsego this week on the road at Eastwood, who, Lynn, as you said, are hitting on all cylinders. Give me the Eastwood Eagles at home this week.
Yeah, I think Otsego's best defense in this game is going to be their offense. Ball control, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, keep that ball away from the high-powered Eastwood offense. Otsego's going to be there through a half, maybe 3 quarters. I really believe they will, but Eastwood's just got too much in the tank. I'll go with Eastwood.
I agree with that. I'm going to take Eastwood in that matchup as well.
Big matchup next week.
Yeah, really big one. Absolutely. Oak Harbor in Eastwood. Is that game at Oak Harbor?
That game is at Oak Harbor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that'll be a dandy week number 9 matchup there. Fostoria is at Lake. The Flyers snapped a 4-game skid last week with a win over Rossford. Flyers now 3-4. That was their first NBC win. Fostoria struggling 1-6, 0-4, scoring 9.1 points per game, giving up 39.1. I think Lake's going to get back to a winning streak like they had the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yep, Lake Flyers started out well. You look back at win against Lipsick week 1. That was a nice feather in the cap of the Lake Flyers. Hit that skid in the middle. A good win last week at Rossford. I like them to win again at home. Give me the Lake Flyers.
Yeah, it's a tough stretch. 6-1 Delta, 7-0 Eastwood, 5-2 Genoa, 5-2 Maumee. I mean,
yeah. Welcome to the NBC.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, Lake's happy to see the Red Men roll in. That's for sure. I like Lake.
I like Lake as well. Rossford is at Maumee. Our rock-solid performance from a week ago are the Panthers, 5-2, 2-2 in the NBC now, scoring almost 40 points per game, giving up just 20.6. Rossford struggling, 9.4 points per game, giving up 33.3. I don't see the Panthers having any issues at Kazmaier Stadium in this one.
Rossford can be silly sometimes. They took Otsego to the wire, lost that 2019. I don't know anybody that thought that game would be that close. They have their lone win over Northwood, 17-7 against Lake. You watch Rossford go in there and play Maumee really tight, at least early. Maumee wins the game, but Rossford's good for a couple of those every year. They're going to come in and get all silly and be right there at halftime.
Well, Maumee, just tremendous momentum going right now at home at Kazmaier Stadium, one of the great venues and great atmospheres for high school football in Northwest Ohio, and it will be this week as well. Give me the Panthers to roll.
Maumee's going to roll in this match. I agree. Too much offense.
What about at halftime? Will it be 3 scores at halftime?
Yes.
Possible.
Yes.
Think so?
4 scores at halftime.
4 scores?
I think it's going to get out of hand early.
It'll be like 35-7 at halftime.
It could. But maybe not.
You just don't
know about that.
Coach Drewsback will have them ready.
Yeah, he will.
They better play some defense.
Yeah, you aren't kidding.
They better play some defense, Drewsback.
You aren't kidding.
As this team can put up some points in yards.
Yeah.
Going to take a good effort.
Yeah, it is.
Blanchard Valley Conference, Liberty Benton taking control there with their victory over Pandora Gilboa last week. But they have another big one this week. 6-1 Eagles, 5-0 in the BVC, scoring 35.1 points per game, giving up 11.6. They're at Lipsick, who is 5-2, 4-1 in the BVC, scoring 28.1 points per game and allowing 15.9. Can Joe Kirkendall's crew throw a wrench in the Blanchard Valley Conference?
Everything on paper says no in this game. Everything says no. You look at Pandora, beat Lipsick. It was close, right? 21-18, and Liberty Benton obviously beat them. Liberty Benton's a favorite, but at Lipsick, a lot at stake for the Vikings in their return to the Blanchard Valley Conference. They'll be ready. Coach Kirkendall and company will have a game plan, but I just think Liberty Benton's too diverse offensively, and they'll get it done. Liberty Benton.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tory. You look at Lipsick, they're at Vikings Field. Tough place to come in and play. They're going to be geared up. They're going to be ready. They see this as a big opportunity to make some noise in the BVC, but Liberty Benton, as you said, Lynn, in the driver's seat. They stay in the driver's seat and get the victory on the road.
Yeah, I don't see LB slipping up in this matchup unless they turn it over a little bit. I just think they're a little too much for the Vikings in this BVC matchup. So give me the Eagles as well. Arcadia, 0-7, 0-5 in the BVC. Has to go to Pandora Gilboa, coming off that loss to LB a week ago. The Rockets 4-3, 4-1 in the BVC, scoring 24.7, giving up 25 points per game. Any chance that Arcadia can trip up the Rockets?
I don't think that there is. No, you got the Rockets coming off of that loss to Liberty Benton. They're going to be ready to show that was a week 1 week issue there. Arcadia it's a bad time to be playing Pandora Gilboa. Give me the Rockets at home.
Yeah, there's a better chance of me flying a helicopter home tonight than there is Arcadia beating Pandora Gilboa. I can tell you that. So you're right. Bad week to be playing the Rockets. They got a chance to finish 7-3. They have 6-1 Ada left to play. Does Pandora Gilboa, but Ada's schedule 6-1 may be a little deceiving. Pandora Gilboa is really good. They'll win.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rockets as well. Here's a matchup. A couple teams trying to get a victory on the board. If you're Elmwood, Riverdale is 2-5, 1-4 in the BVC. Elmwood 0-7, 0-5, scoring just 8.6 points per game, giving up 43.4. Riverdale scoring just 9.1, giving up 31.9. A couple offenses that have not been able to get on track this season. Defense hasn't been great on either side. Is this a low scoring? Where does this game go?
There's a variety of things that could happen as this one shakes out. I know who I'm picking, though. I am going to go with the 0-7 Elmwood Royals to get it done on the road. I thought for sure you'd go with Riverdale.
I can't do it.
No, I think this is where Elmwood gets off that lost train here. Give me Elmwood. Schuller's wheels are turning. He's about ready to say not so fast.
Not so fast, Tory Strock. Now, Riverdale, listen, your 2 wins are against teams that are 0-14 combined. Let's get that elephant in the room on the table. But you're looking at an 0-7 Elmwood team. You're trying to get to win number 3. Elmwood, wondering if they can get a victory, trying to figure out how to make it all work. Ain't going to happen this week. Give me the Falcons to go to 3 wins.
Schuller's always been a Riverdale homer.
Yeah, he has been.
Yeah,
he has been.
If you look back over the years, we'll have to have Brayton take a look at it.
Might be. I wonder how many times I have picked Riverdale. Well, it's going to be one more.
We can find it.
Yeah.
I'm going
Give me
with
the five. And listen, they better get it done this week because Macomb followed by a PG to finish out.
Yeah, not easy. Yeah, I like Elmwood of this one. They put up 26 last week against the Red Devils of Arlington. First time this year they've scored over 20, but I think they got enough offense to win this one.
I do too.
I think they're going to put up about 27 this week. Just enough to beat Riverdale in this matchup. Take another break, come back and talk about the Northwest Conference.
Hard-working individuals have been the heart of the Gerken companies for generations. Together we construct the highways and infrastructure that strengthen our communities. Gerken is seeking rock-solid performers. We offer generous benefits, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. Want to be part of something big, steady, and stable with room to grow? Whether you're experienced or just starting your career, we encourage you to apply at gerkencompanies.com/careers.
Thank you to the Gerken Companies, title sponsor of our podcast this season. Northwest Conference this week, Columbus Grove rolling right along, 7-0, 4-0, and the NWC is there trying to get ready for that Week 10 clash with Bluffton. They are at Convoy Crestview this week. The Knights are 3-4, 1-3 overall, scoring 28.3, allowing 24.6. Grove putting up 43.1 points per game after a couple of nice weeks of putting up some big totals, giving up just 11.4 points per game. Our good friend Ned Steckschulte with his unique stat approach, he's got a couple of golden nuggets for us this week. Grove starting field position, their own 46. Opponent's starting field position is its own 27. 18 times Grove has stopped opponent's return guy inside their own 20. What does that tell you? They got some pretty good dudes on that coverage unit, right?
Special teams. And some young dudes.
Yeah.
You know, I like watching those young, it's an opportunity for sophomores, even some freshmen. Grove has a couple young guys like that, too.
Who was the young man that was laying the wood?
I remember you mentioned
number
that
6,
guy.
wasn't it? I don't have my roster. I keep all my rosters.
Was he a freshman?
Freshman
Because I think we had to ask Ned that we thought it was a misprint.
He was smacking dudes, and I'm like, this guy's got to be like a junior.
Not just once. It wasn't like he got lucky and just ran into
4
somebody.
times in a row.
Yeah. Every kickoff, he was going down there and nailing somebody.
Yeah, the Pandora game, he was smacking people, and then Liberty Benton, he was really smacking people. And you get some young kids a taste of that action on special teams, that helps going forward, and Grove's got those guys.
Unfortunately for the NWC, the cupboard's not going to be bare for them in the coming years.
Well, the thing is, if you got a good balanced upperclassmen that are, in that, starting offense, starting defense, and Grove's obviously got those guys in spades, man, those younger guys are taking pride in that special team. That's their opportunity to, contribute to that Friday night, contribute to those wins. So, if you think that those guys aren't going to be, doing an 80-yard sprint every single time on special teams, you're wrong.
Yeah, and if you're one of those young guys and you lay the smack on somebody, say you're a freshman or sophomore, you lay the smack and you come off the field and Kylan Mays and Trenton Barraza are giving you a fist bump, you're walking walking a little bit taller.
Yeah, you're rolling into the lunchroom with a little different cadence. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Brody McClure.
That's it.
5'9", 155.
What grade?
He's freshman.
He is a freshman.
Yes.
Is he 6?
Yes, he's number 6.
Number 6. That's right. That's him. Yeah, he's fun to watch, man.
He's going to be one of those Grant Eversols.
Yes, he is.
Who's their other safety I'm thinking of?
Eversol and Baxter. Yep.
Basinger and all those other guys that they have that are...
Gavin Barraza on the outside, one of the better corners in the area. Crestview is one of those teams, and Grove knows this, they're going to hit you. They do have a nice win. They've only got 2 of them, but 37-16 against Wayne Trace. Wayne Trace 2-5, but we know Wayne Trace is solid, and Crestview beat them 37-16. So Grove's the prohibitive favorite here for sure, but on the road, they're going to have to be sound, and if you're Andy Schaefer, you want to continue building, and you want to be playing your best football going forward as they kind of have LCC on the horizon and Bluffton, obviously. So they can't afford to take a step back and get sloppy, and I don't think they will.
No, listen, the pick here is Grove, 0 conversation. The pick's Grove until at least week 10, and probably beyond. We'll see. I know one person at this table is probably not due to preseason picks, but we'll see. But yeah, Grove, the machine keeps rolling in Columbus Grove.
It does for another week or 2.
The Grove folks they cannot wait for week 10 in his prediction for that matchup.
I don't know if I can wait,
because he's got some Bluffton gear. He may roll in here he may roll in here as a Pirate.
You know what?
You never know.
He might. Eye patch, plastic
like
sword.
Steve the Pirate on Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Right? Be like that. Never know. We'll have to see.
Have to wait a couple weeks.
Have to wait. It's too early. It's too early yet.
Coming up.
Too early yet.
Ned might be up here for the week 10 picks.
We can't let Ned be in here. He's coming next week to our football show. That's enough.
That's right.
That's enough Ned Steck-Schulte.
That's right.
Till the playoffs.
We'll see.
Yeah, I like Columbus Grove in that matchup as well as we finalize our picks there. NLL Buckeye Division this week. Perrysburg, they got to bounce back. They got to go to Findlay. That's not an easy one for the Jackets after the loss to Whitmer a week ago.
No, it's not. And, I think a lot of people, errantly, I might add, after, Ryan Montgomery went down for Findlay, kind of said, that's the writing's on the wall there. They took 2 losses, opened the season 0-2, went to 1-4, and it's like, geez, okay, it's all cashed in for Findlay, but not so fast for the Findlay Trojans. They're setting right now at 3-4. Lost last week to Anthony Wayne at Anthony Wayne, but we're leading at halftime. We're in the game into the 4th quarter. Have a tremendous freshman quarterback, Eckleberry, who has stepped in and gotten it done. He's continuing to pick up momentum. But you got a Perrysburg crew here that is solid, is as advertised. I know that in talking to Dirk Connor, there's some things there that he would have done differently in that Whitmer game, and he's going to get those boys refocused and back on their mission and purpose to make a mess out of things here in the Buckeye. So give me Perrysburg on the road at Findlay, but don't be surprised if Findlay's got something to say about it.
Yeah, in no way, shape, or form should it ever be considered an upset when Findlay beats anybody in that big school division. They're Findlay, they have the resources in that. But I agree, Neil. Dirk Connor is gonna, there's some teachable moments from that Whitmer loss, and he'll use every one of them, and they'll button some things up, and I think they roll at Findlay, but you upset alert here. I like the Jackets, though.
What's your score?
31-21.
Okay. Take the Trojans here. I could pick one up.
Yeah,
you could. Running out of options. Running out of options here this week.
Yeah, we're getting down to the bottom of the list here.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do for you, Lynn. This is the kind of guy I am. I'm going to let you go back and take Riverdale over Elmwood. Give you a chance to get a game on me.
No,
tell you what, get in. Well, hey.
I think I'm going to. I'll stick with Perrysburg.
All right.
I'll stick with Perrysburg.
Hey, you're going to get this sign because you were kicking it around, weren't you?
Well, I was, because I got to find a game somewhere to pick up on you this week, and the pickings are getting thin here.
Yeah, we're getting take North Central over Lucas if you want.
I don't want to do that either.
All right.
I don't really see where I'm going to be different than you the rest of the way.
There's some down the list that can be
Edgerton. You think Edgerton can't go win at Fairview here when we get into the GMC?
Well, are you going to pick Edgerton? No.
Nope.
Okay, exactly.
Well, there's your opportunity, though.
Yeah, I'm not doing it there. I'm gonna stick with Perrysburg. Dirk, don't let me down.
Yeah,
because I may not pick you again if you lose this one.
Yeah, good point. I may definitely take Anthony Wayne.
Then I got 10. Anthony Wayne guaranteed week 10.
Yeah, I like it.
They got to, because this could be the difference.
Yeah, it could.
Right here.
It could.
In the whole show.
I'll laugh. No, I won't laugh if Findlay wins, because that means my buddy got beat. But I'll laugh because you wanted to take Findlay there.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the Jackets.
Smart man. Smart man.
Anthony Wayne rolling along there at Springfield. General's got to be a heavy favorite in this matchup. I don't see them getting tripped up by the Blue Devils. Give me Anthony Wayne.
Nope. Anthony Wayne comes into this one. This is, we talk about and have talked about Central Catholic and that machine that continues to roll. And part of what makes that machine roll is they get leads in games. They get younger guys game time experience. So it's not shock and awe when they get their first Friday night lights as a starter. This is a type of game where Anthony Wayne's going to get those young guys involved very early, get their starters off the field, keep them healthy, because they've got bigger fish to fry ahead, and Anthony Wayne is going to roll in this one.
Yep, I agree with everything that you said there, Neil. You wanna get? That might have just made it 3-0.
Tigers going to go up 3-0 here in the top of the 9th. Heard it from Tory Strock, and they'll take that to Comerica.
Yeah,
should be a 1-1 series.
Should be 1-1 now. Anybody who's a Tigers fan knows that there's no lead safe in the bottom of the 9th.
No, there's not.
Indians or the Guardians, sorry about that, will probably load them up. It'll be 3-2. Yeah, they'll be on the edge of the seat.
That was an 0-2 pitch, wasn't it?
It was at least 2. There were 2 strikes.
Yeah.
And that was a no-doubter. All right, so we'll see if they can hang on.
Maybe we can just sit here like like the Peyton brothers.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I'll tell you,
Manning brothers, Peyton and Eli, and have our little show as we watch games.
We could do that. That may be a product we look at going forward. I would have to edit some of my comments. We'd probably have to, depending on who we're watching.
That's probably
zero doubt.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
All right, so we all have the Wayners there. Anthony Wayne.
Northview is at Whitmer. Ooh, buddy. Wildcats scoring just 2 points per game, giving up 43.6. Go to Whitmer, who was scoring 33.6, giving up just 17.3. What will this score be?
It's a score that will get out of hand. Another one, if you're Whitmer, you get the lead, you get your guys off the field, you stay healthy, get those younger guys experience, get them playing time, and move on to play Findlay on the road at Findlay in the following week. But yeah, this is a they roll.
Even those younger guys may run wild.
Yeah, because listen, if you're Whitmer's younger guys, you haven't seen a whole lot of field time yet this year. This is an opportunity for you to, shine a little bit here, show what you're capable of. We talked about special teams and that opportunity. This is an opportunity where you get some, quarters 2 through 4 stats on your record. Believe me, they'll have their ears pinned back and ready to go.
63-0-ish range.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
probably.
We don't have to talk about it now, but something I want to discuss. Neil, you weren't here last week, obviously, but being our NLL guy, take a look at what Northview's going to need to do going forward if they're going to compete in that division, and that's, I'm sure, a discussion for another day, but they're going to have to find a formula to be able to compete there.
Yeah, and I think, and it is a discussion we can have down the road. You can't set up in the same fashion as a Whitmer, Anthony Wayne, Perrysburg, and Findlay and compete because you just don't have the personnel. This is nothing against the Northview kids. They're hard. No. It's no indoctrination against them. It's just a fact of the matter that those 4 teams that I mentioned are cut a little different on the kids that they have. So, in my opinion, you've got to find a scheme that exploits some things or does some things different. Things that come to mind are, you look at a team like Navy, who runs that triple option, who every single year they get somebody either on the ropes or an upset because it feels different. The one thing I know, my last year coaching at St. John's, we played Olmsted Falls week 1 of the playoffs, and they run that triple option extremely well. When it is something, and Coach, you know this as well, when you've got a week to prepare for something that you have not seen at any point in time during the season, and then you're trying to replicate a timing and things like that that's just not replicatable, it's very hard to prepare for, no matter if you're, David versus Goliath, so to speak. I think something like that would serve Northview quite well, but it's going to take time, and that's, I think, what the Northview community and fans need to understand, that if you do that, I think it would help you out a lot, but it's going to take time.
Andy Brungard did that, Dirk Connor did that very well at Bowling Green.
Absolutely.
Ran that flex bone option offense. God, it was a handful.
Yeah.
You bet it is.
Yep. NLL Cardinal Division action this week. Fremont Ross is at Southview. The Cougars, the reigning champs, they can't drop another one, 0-1 after the loss a week ago. Fremont Ross is 1-1 in the conference. The Little Giants scoring 16.3. Southview scoring 26.1. Both are giving up similar totals defensively. Fremont Ross 28.1 and Southview 25.7. This a toss-up, or is there a favorite?
No, it's a toss-up. Yeah, definitely a toss-up. Southview being at home, I think, levels it a little more. But I'm going with, this is a tough one. I had to think about this one for a while. But I'm going with Fremont Ross in this football game. They've just, I think, come on a little bit. Had Clay on the ropes Friday. Beat Napoleon at home. Fremont Ross got a little mojo going right now.
Yeah, this is a game that I agree, I think is maybe a closer matchup than what we would have thought preseason, maybe through the first couple weeks of this season. But as you said, Fremont Ross, impressive last week, 35 points against Clay. We talked about beating Napoleon at home, really making a mess out of the Cardinal division, quite frankly, with that victory at home against Napoleon. Southview is quite banged up, coming through that gauntlet. We have talked about that. A loss last week on the road at Bowling Green. That said, the Cougars are tough at home. It's a great atmosphere, but I think Fremont Ross is going to be a little bit too much this week. Give me the Little Giants.
Nope. Southview is going to rally the troops this week and bounce back. We need to get right back in the NLL Cardinal Division discussion.
Okay. I think it's going to be a close game. I really do.
Give me my Cougar helmet here.
You might have to slap that thing on over your head.
Put it on like Lee Corso.
Yeah.
Probably could. See if that makes it.
I don't know if that thing was disinfected. There could be. Get the other one.
Listen, Groll's built for that kind of stuff. Look at this. No, look at that. Look at that. What a perfect fit. Come on. Oh, the Coug helmet right on the Groll. How about it? That's a bold.
Hey, that was a good fit.
I like that.
It was.
Yeah, I tell you what.
That's a good fit.
I tell you what, Coach Hardy, I don't know if you got any jerseys laying around, but you can get Groll out there to
you better get me a jersey because I picked you this week and these two clowns didn't.
Yeah.
Chance to get a game on me, Grolly.
We're going to find out.
If you go back and switch to Riverdale, you could knot things up.
Oh, boy.
No, I got a few more games here. I think I may surprise you here. I may surprise you. Take a break. We'll come back and we're going to talk about the GMC.
No, we got one more.
We have one more. We do. We will. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about that. Ready to hit the links? Grab your clubs and head to White Pines Golf Course at 1640 County Road 2 in Swanton. For a tee time or to sign up for their events, call 419-875-5535 or visit whitepinesgc.com. Also, sign up for their early membership of $885 or $796.50 for seniors 55 and older. Early membership is play now, and greens fees are covered for the rest of 2024 and all of 2025. When you play White Pines Golf Course, the experience will exceed your expectations.
Tribal has bases loaded.
Listen, I need to try to win this.
White Pines Golf Course, title sponsor of Rise and Rewind. That will be back this week at 8 a.m., right? 8 a.m. this week?
If we could do 8 a.m., I would appreciate it. Got Northern Illinois invading Deutsch Perry Stadium. It's interesting. We'll talk Saturday morning a little bit. Lynn and I like to touch on college football, but Bowling Green's an early favorite over a Northern Illinois team that beat Notre Dame a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Last time a team that beat Notre Dame rolled into Deutsch Perry Stadium, tell me who it was and what happened.
Repeat the question. I was distracted.
The last time a team that beat Notre Dame rolled into Deutsch Perry Stadium just a couple years ago.
Marshall.
It was Marshall. What happened?
Well done.
I don't remember.
Bowling Green won in overtime. Might have been multiple overtimes.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think
it might have been like 4 overtimes. I remember running onto the field after that game, and you had a security guard down there, okay, one of the rental guys, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people going onto the field, and he's like got his hands up to stop people, and everybody just kind of chuckled and ran by.
That's good stuff.
So,
that is good stuff.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We're heading down to Dayton. The Flyers have Davidson coming to town.
Steph Curry, huh?
Yeah, Flyers sitting at 3-1.
Steph Curry's playing football.
Yeah, he's not, but
no, it's his
If
school.
he was playing basketball, that'd be a different story.
It's his school.
Yeah, my Flyers are sitting 3-1. So off to a nice start here.
Let's go 8 a.m.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
8 a.m.
All right. Final game in the NLL Cardinal Division this week. I don't think any of us are picking this.
No.
Is this your game of the week?
Yep, game 1, game of the week.
Napoleon at Clay?
Yes. It is definitely the game of the week. You know, this is an interesting matchup. I think you got Napoleon and quite frankly, the rest of the Cardinal Division at this point cheering on Napoleon. And Clay that can really, I don't want to, I can't go so far as to say they seal the deal here with a victory over Napoleon, but
they would at least get a piece of it.
At least a piece. At minimum, they have a piece, if not the outright. So they have Southview at Southview week 9, and then they have Rogers at home week 10, do the Clay Eagles. So,
week 10 in the NLL Cardinal Division could be a non-factor.
Could be a non-factor,
as far as
absolutely.
the championship race goes.
Yeah. So we look at that Southview Fremont Ross game. If Ross wins and Clay wins, then Clay is your champion. If Napoleon beats Clay, and something happens there where Southview beats Ross, now all of a sudden we have a wide open affair again that makes week 9 very important for the Cardinals. So a lot going into this game, man. I can't wait. Clay Memorial Stadium, it's going to be an electric atmosphere. Great community support. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Clay kind of lives on the edge, man. Clay kind of lives on the edge. Beat Bowling Green 24-22, right? And then just a one-score win over Fremont Ross. A win's a win, but kind of close. I picked Napoleon to win the Cardinal division, and I know we're not picking this game, but wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Wildcats go in there and put their best foot forward. In fact, I expect them to. But Clay, I think they can taste it now, man. They're getting awfully close. One of the better matchups on our entire slate this week.
Yeah, it definitely is. And we've talked about it last year. We've talked about it this year. You got a Clay community that is just so eager to have something to be excited about. And Tory, you just hit on it. They can taste it.
Yeah, they can.
When you're looking at week 7 and you're looking, maybe you got a weather eye ahead. Yeah, for sure. So it'll be a great matchup. I'm looking forward to it.
And they're also sitting at 9th in Division II, Region 6. This would be a nice point game for them as far as computer region, if they had any hopes of hosting. Big game for both teams.
Yeah, 3-court game cast of the week for Tory and I. Pre-game 6:30, kickoff 7. Be there to make sure Schuller's actually doing some work, because I've heard some rumors that he struts around, then he heads up to the press box and just rubs elbows with all the big shots.
I can tell you this: Tory Strock's seen it once. Cinda Strock's actually seen it twice.
Fremont at Napoleon.
Yeah, so
I want to witness it.
Believe you me, you're going to get tired watching me.
He hustles. He needs one of those, what are they, hoverboards?
Scooters?
Yeah, like the mall cop has.
No, I got no need.
Paul Blart.
Yeah. What's that? Hoverboard, is that what that's called? That's what Schuller needs.
No need for that. I take the heel-toe express wherever I go.
Tigers get it done. It's final, 3-0.
Tigers do get it done. Congrats to the Tiger fans. See if they can get a couple more. I knew he was not happy. Sean Sunderman over in Hamlet right now.
No, he knew they were going to have their hands full, though. They had to win today.
Yeah.
Now they go back to Comerica tied 1-1.
Can School will pitch game 5?
You know what?
He's going to have to.
Trot him out there.
Right?
Oh, game 5.
Game 5 if it gets there?
To. Yep, he'll have to. He'll want to. Dude's a competitor, man.
Okay, all right. Green Meadows Conference games this week. Going to start with Edgerton, 5-2, 3-1 at Fairview. Boy, the Bulldogs take it to Paulding a week ago.
You bet. That was a nice win for Edgerton last week against Paulding. Really kind of, I feel like kind of vaulted them towards the tail end of the season here, but man, oh man, do they hit a buzzsaw this week headed to Fairview. I think the Apache are too much, particularly at the reservation, but I think this is a close game, but I'm going to take Fairview.
Here comes Glenn Badenhop rolling in here in his Tigers coat.
Boy, yeah.
Tigers coat from about, what year is that Tigers coat from, Hopper?
Oh,
that's
man.
the old logo.
That's old. He got a little hop in his step.
He does.
Tell you what, boy.
A little bit of swagger, as they call it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Lynn, as you always say about Lima Bath or some of those schools, which Edgerton team's going to show up?
That's why I was hoping
the team that lost 26-0 to Wayne Trace, or the team that rolled last week?
I don't know.
I know which one needs to show up.
To me, I'm going with Fairview.
That's the safe pick. That's where I'm going to.
They're at home. Yeah. I don't know that Edgerton can duplicate that offensive output. Fairview plays better defense than you'd think, too. Fairview plays better defense than you'd think.
If you hear the screaming in the background, that's Glenn Badenhop. He's pretty excited about that victory.
Yeah, he's boy, that's about the most energy he's coming here.
Yeah,
he's got a little.
He may have a
hop in his step.
He may have a couple Mountain Dews tonight.
He may.
Might already have had.
Good call.
Yes. Wayne Trace, the Raiders there at home against Paulding County foe Antwerp. The Raiders coming off of that 3-0 loss in overtime to Tenora. They have enough against the Archers this week, who are struggling. 2-5, 0-4 in the GMC is Antwerp.
Well, I tell you what, Wayne Trace taking Tenora to the wire tells me a lot about Wayne Trace. I think that Antwerp just trying to get their feet under them at this point in time, and I think it's a bad time to do that with Wayne Trace kind of, playing a tough Tenora team tough for 4 quarters, and they're home. I'm going with Wayne Trace.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm laughing at Glenn here. I wasn't laughing at what you said, Neil. But, I will tell you, Wayne Trace is my pick, but nothing would surprise me here.
Great.
Nothing would surprise me. If Jason Hale and his crew is going to get things shored up, this would be a great week to do it. Rivalry game there, but I can't pick against Wayne Trace. They're just right there knocking on the door, and I like them at home.
I'm going to take the Raiders as well. River Bowl this week. Ayersville and Tenora. The Pilots get their first win over Hicksville last week on a celebratory night. They were down 20-0 to the Aces, came back and rallied to pick up the win over Hicksville on the 50th anniversary of football. Had a little festival with their former players and former coaches and family and friends, and they're at Tenora. Going to go to the north side of the Maumee River. The Rams now 4-3, 4-0 in the GMC, scoring 17.3, giving up 16.3. Ayersville giving up 43 points per game, have scored 7.1. Tenora has not allowed a point the last 2 weeks, shutout fashion. Pilots lead the all-time series in this one, 25-22-1. Tenora has closed that gap considerably since kind of the early 90s, mid-90s. Ayersville had a heavy advantage in this series, but the Rams have got back in it. Will be, I would say, a pretty prohibitive favorite in this one, even though it's a rivalry game.
Yep, I like, Ayersville got something to feel good about last week, right? Got that victory, got the monkey off of your back there. But if you're Tenora, I think you're, coming off it. You got a wake-up call there at Wayne Trace last week, and they won it in overtime. Took them extra time to get it done. But I think Coach Becker is going to, have the attention of his crew. I think practice is going to be focused, and I think it's, even though Ayersville got that nice win, Tenora is going to be too much this week. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, can Torin Knieven have even close to the type of night he had last week?
He's going to have to.
Yeah, boy, Tenora just really impressed with their resolve after starting the year out, and it was pretty tough sledding early on. Boy, they just seem to have a mettle about them that I really like, and they're at home. Ayersville, Neil, you mentioned they had something to feel good about. They're gonna give it the old varsity try Friday night.
Maybe close for quarter or two, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say halftime.
I was going to say, yeah.
We may see that score and go, wow.
Yeah.
It's 14-7 or something like that. But the Rambos, Tenora, gets it done.
These two teams are the most battle-tested in the GMC, and
sure they are.
Maybe any small schools around Northwest Ohio.
Yep.
Ayersville's played Delta, PH Bluffton.
You look at Tenora's 3 losses. I mean, against teams that are combined 15-6.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, Ayersville's is just probably a tad better, actually, with as a whole, with the 3 that they've played, just 3 losses between the 3. Tenora's just going to have a little too much, I think, in this one. Also in the GMC this week, Paulding trying to get back on track. They go to Hicksville. Aces recovering from that loss at Ayersville a week ago. I don't know where these two teams are mentally. That may be the biggest aspect of this one.
Yeah, I'm going with the Paulding Panthers. I think they'll. They had a charge late, in that Edgerton game, and just dug themselves a hole early. That's not going to happen this week. I look for Paulding to play really clean football and get it done on the road.
They have too much talent.
They do.
I think they'll get it done in Hicksville and get back to their winning ways.
Yep, I agree. I like the Paulding Panthers, and this one got a bad taste in their mouth dropping the last two, and they're not going to have it happen again.
Going to come back and talk about the NWAL and the non-conference games this week after we take our final break. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store off Route 24 on State Route 109, just south of Liberty Center, now has 88 unleaded fuel and is your one-stop shop for fuel, food, drinks, and much, much more, including locally raised meats and home-baked goods. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store is proud to support Black Swamp Football and is the host of the Black Swamp Football podcast, football show, and Saturday mornings Rise and Rewind. Stop in and see Glenn and Greg today and make American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store a part of your everyday routine.
High school seniors, uncertain that college is right for you? Concerned about the cost of higher education? At the Gerken Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods even without a degree. That's a good living straight out of high school with no tuition debt. Starting pay between recent college grads and those with high school diplomas is closer than you might think. So if you enjoy teamwork, working outdoors, and being part of something meaningful, consider your options at gerkencompanies.com/careers.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gerken Companies. Stop on out here to American Freedom Energy Saturday morning while we have Rise and Rewind going starting at 8. Specialty Grounds Coffee will be here with their truck. Get a breakfast sandwich, specialty coffee, whatever you would like. I'll probably get me a latte on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to patronize them. If you do a little research, the mission of Special Grounds, it's an awesome mission, and it'll be fun to patronize them. And they're blending a new type of coffee exclusively for American Freedom Energy.
What's that called?
Freedom Fuel.
Oh,
Freedom
nice.
Fuel.
When will that be available, Hopper? 2 weeks. Can you get that here at American Freedom Energy? Okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks. All right.
That's got my name all over it.
It's got my name all over it. I wonder
Fuel.
That could be trouble for the coffee club.
It could. Oh, some of those guys, imagine, it'll probably get their heart racing. Gee, many Christmas.
That could be bad news for some of those guys.
Yeah, I don't think we even make it available to them.
Well, if you stop out here for coffee on Saturday morning or a breakfast sandwich, stop in here and see us, and we'll let you ask us a question.
I love it.
If you want to ask us a question, we'll answer some questions for the crew.
Hard to say what you might get with that.
Oh, yeah, we're opening ourselves up. But
believe me, Schuller, when I roll in here at 7, I've already taken all the questions that a person can take from the coffee club.
Yeah, pretty good slate.
There is no question that cannot be answered once I go through that.
Yeah, that's a gauntlet.
I mean, some of those cats, you never know what they're going to ask, and some of them are...
Oh, they have no filter.
No boundaries. Rex has always got something when I roll in here.
I believe that. Yeah. Some additional commentary, maybe.
And he's usually
insight.
He's usually being set straight by somebody.
Yeah.
Even if they tell him the right answer, he still doesn't believe it,
No, he's never been wrong.
Nope, he never has.
Never been wrong.
No, he is not.
And he's never lost. He's just run out of time.
Yes, that is true. NWL action this week. Liberty Center back home. Evergreen here. What is your food truck here on Friday night for your tail? Millie's. Oh, buddy. I'm going to have to get my wife over here to get me some of those since I'll be in Oregon. Oh, Millie's wings from Ottoville. You ever had them, Strock?
I have not.
Oh, Schuller, you had them?
No, I have not.
Oh, award-winning.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, they're good stuff.
I'll have to be the judge of that.
Yeah.
They sound good, though.
Oh, I'm telling you, they're good. You'll like them.
They breaded or naked?
We can get both.
Get both.
Rub wings are the best.
Rub.
Sounds good.
That does sound good.
What time's your tailgate start? 4:30? 4:30 and goes until whenever.
Till
Will
Spike goes
they
home.
have food available afterwards too?
If they don't run out.
Yeah, they usually run out. That's the bad thing. They usually run out.
You
My
better
wife
get your
rolled in
order
here
in.
about,
Yeah.
I think she rolled in here about 6:30 last year when Millie's was here. They were out.
Ooh.
You got to get here early if you want the
Wow,
wings.
I guess. My goodness.
Wow.
Well, show up, folks.
Yeah.
Get here.
It's going to be good stuff. Good
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday here at American Freedom Energy.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Evergreen at Liberty Center. Vikings are playing better for Barry Bach, but this may be a little bit of a monumental challenge for the Vikes.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit too much of a challenge for the Vikings coming into Liberty Center, who's undefeated. Definitely feeling good about things after last week. A hard-fought battle, proved their mettle. One thing I want to point out to the local listening audience, if you're not paying attention to the regional picture here, Milan Edison setting it number one in the region, just above Liberty Center. Beat Sandusky Perkins last week by a point.
Yes,
A
they
previously unbeaten Perkins team that was holding teams to 3.6 points per game. Milan Edison beat them 15-14 for that win. Perkins' first loss. That is a statement win by Milan Edison. So it could be interesting as we go down the playoff road at the point that these two may meet up. We'll just we'll leave it there and see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. But I got the Liberty Center Tigers in this one all day.
Yeah, and Evergreen's. I mean, if you're Evergreen, you want to make it through here healthy. Week 9, they have a home game with Swanton that they should win, and then Week 10 against Delta, a chance to be 6-4 if they can win that one, and then we're talking playoffs possibly for Evergreen, but they're going to probably have to win out after this Liberty game. So, can they get out of here healthy? I look for Liberty to roll at home.
I do too. Scoring 41.4 points per game after scoring 21 a week ago at PH. Giving up now 4.1 points per game are the Tigers, now 8th in the state after giving up 15 to Patrick Henry. They were number 1 a week ago. They didn't fall too far, but they'll have a chance to, I think, improve their standing as far as points allowed per game as the season progresses here the next 3 weeks. Evergreen last won this game 2010. It's been a while since the Vikings have beaten the Tigers, but I don't think it's going to happen this year either.
No. Tory, you mentioned Evergreen. They're sitting in 14th in their region right now, so close to that bubble mark, but as you said, a couple wins from here on out should secure their place in playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, we know Liberty Center, they're never satisfied, right? I mean, they have a championship standard. They're never satisfied, and they're going to look to improve this week if that's possible.
Patrick Henry at Delta, one of the top area games this week. Couple teams that are 3-1 in the league. Patrick Henry scoring 34.4, giving up just 8.9 points per game. Going to Delta in that run-heavy Mike Vickers offense.
Well, and if you're Patrick Henry, you got a taste of what's coming this week with that Liberty Center matchup this past week. Obviously a game that was hard fought. What's before I make my official pick? What is the health of Patrick? Any health issues coming out of that Liberty game that we know of?
Yeah, but I think by Friday they'll be in pretty good shape. Would you agree, Lynn? Obviously, Avery Wright is out.
Yeah,
but they had a lot of guys banged up in that game.
Just depends on how much they can kind of play through. This will be this is
not an easy
banged
game.
up. This isn't I don't know that a game you want to throw some guys out there a little dinged up in though too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Do you start looking ahead to the Division 6 playoffs, or do you try to stay in the league race? I don't know. it's an interesting kind of conundrum for Coach Inselman and his coaching staff.
Well, and I think if you're Coach I, obviously you're going to want to get the victory first and foremost. So I think you're going to want to jump on these guys early if you can against this Delta team. Maybe get guys some rest. Maybe you rotate guys a little bit differently to try to make some rest throughout the game. I'm going to take Patrick Henry on the road here. I think this is going to be a close one. It could be a very close one. Delta's no slouch, but I like what Patrick Henry learned about the running game last week that can apply to this week.
Yeah, Delta run heavy, wing T, a little different wing T than what Liberty does, but these are two different animals. The way Patrick Henry held up defensively for the better part of that game against Liberty Center's rushing attack and their big physical offensive line really sets Patrick Henry up well this week. Delta, very solid, typically don't beat themselves, but they're not the animal Liberty Center was. As long as Patrick Henry's minds are right, a similar mindset as against Liberty Center, Delta's going to have trouble moving the football in this defense. I really believe that. I like the Patriots to roll in this football game.
I do too. I think they win by 3+ scores.
Do you?
I think even if maybe they don't have some of those guys that didn't play the second half a week ago, I think they're still all right. I think Cal Schrader can fill in at quarterback just fine with his arm, and he showed me something at quarterback. He's got some moxie. I think they'll be fine offensively. I don't think the defense is going anywhere, even if they don't have Lincoln Krieger at outside linebacker. Kavian Kreider, he's
still have Grant Smith.
Still have Grant Smith.
Jaden Punches, Kavian Kreider, Kiefer Holloway.
Yeah, I think they're still all right. I think they win this one a little bit more handily than some think.
Yeah, I agree.
That defense is pretty darn good this season for Patrick.
Well, listen,
big dudes up there, and
you don't hang with Liberty like they did if you're not stout. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
As long as they're mentally right and ready to go, they take that same mindset they had a week ago. They won't have any issues this week. Wauseon is at Archbold. This is a game that Wauseon has not won since 2016. David Dominic and his crew have dominated this Fulton County rivalry game. Wauseon 2-5, 2-2, 12.7 points per game, giving up 25.9. Archbold scoring 21.6, giving up 24.4. Archbold's been up and down. This game could be a little bit closer than you might think, but I think the Streaks pull it out at the end.
Well, I mentioned Ottawa Glandorf earlier in the podcast here. Archbold no different. 1 week, 1 lost, 1 lost, 1 lost, 1. The consistency here would tell you it's their time to lose, but I don't buy it. I'm going to take the Streaks in this one at home. I think that they're going to be just a little bit too much for Wauseon.
Yep, I agree. Won't be a bit surprised if Wauseon plays them really tough. It's not the same Archbold. They have some inexperience and they're growing. They're going through some growing pains. We know Wauseon is as well. This game at Archbold, I like Archbold somewhere in the neighborhood of 24-7. It isn't going to be too crazy, but yeah, I like the Streaks.
I like that pick. Swanton riding a 24-game losing streak. They have 0-7. Bryan coming to town. The Golden Bears scoring 5 points per game, giving up 39.4. Swanton scoring 2.7 points per game, giving up 42.4. Does Nate McAfee get his first coaching win, and is Swanton in that 24-game skid?
Well, there's going to be a first coaching win this week, no matter what.
At Bryan for Coach Staten.
Yep. So for that sake, I think Bryan is going to win this game on the road. I feel like they're maybe a little bit further along than Swanton right now. I mean, Coach McAfee's got them pointed the right direction. I think it's a process. It's a build. Bryan might be a little bit further. I'm going to take the Golden Bears, but I think this is, a coin toss type game, quite frankly.
Yeah, 0-7. Both teams licking their chops because they know they have a chance. But I agree, Neil. I like the Bryan Golden Bears to go on the road and get it done, and I have no idea how this game's going to play out. I have no idea, but I like the Golden Bears to extend Swanton's losing streak.
I do too. I'm going to take the Golden Bears. Non-conference games this week. Talking about losing streaks, Bowling Green is at Woodward, who has Ohio's longest losing streak at 38 straight. The Bobcats visit. Any trouble for BG in this matchup?
No, not at all. In fact, you want to get out here healthy. JC Shannon, I mean, he could put up video game numbers if they wanted to. I don't think Coach Kiss will. They'll go their business trip, take care of business, get back to Wood County, and move on.
Yep, no question about it. I mean, between Jackson Schaefer, JC Shannon, they could run all over Woodward as much as they wanted. That said, I think they get in, they get the lead. We get some of those younger guys coming up behind these two. Get them in a scheme that's, takes timing, takes game reps to, perfect. This is an opportunity to do that. BG rolls.
Yep, BG gets the victory for me as well. North Central, they are at Lucas this week. The Cubs are 3-4 overall, scoring 22.4, giving up 22.9. North Central scoring 17.9, giving up 32.4. I like Lucas.
Yep, give me the Cubs on the road here as well.
One of the really, really, really solid small school football traditions that maybe a lot of people around here aren't familiar with, the Lucas Cubs.
You bet.
A lot of tradition there, very, very proud football community. North Central's walking into a hornet's nest here at Lucas. I know they're 3-4, but don't be fooled. Lucas rolls.
Yeah, traditionally very strong program there. Also this week, going to round out our predictions, Concord, Michigan at Holgate in a non-conference 8-man matchup. No, Holgate maybe has a significant injury, not going to get into it. I haven't talked to Coach Wagner to know the significance of it, but I think Holgate's still going to have enough. They're scoring 45.6 points per game.
Yep, I think his Holgate offense is too much up until maybe week 9, and then we're going to find out real quick when they play Toledo Christian, but give me Holgate in this particular game.
I, too, am going with the purple and gold Tigers in this one. Roll along Holgate.
I agree. I'm going to take Holgate. Do we have just one different in this whole slate?
Was it the Fremont-Ross Southview game?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Oh. You didn't? No, you didn't go with Finley, did you?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay, that was the other.
Couldn't do
it. He teetered.
I thought about it.
Just one.
It's your last opportunity. I'm going to give you a chance to go with Riverdale instead of Elmwood.
Nope, I'm still good there.
You locked in?
I'm locked in.
Okay, Fremont-Ross Southview. Either I go up 3 games or my lead gets trimmed to 1.
I look at it this way. Weeks 9 and 10, the schedule gets a little tougher. Even if I'm down 3, I can reel you back in. I'm not too concerned.
That's confidence.
Too concerned.
I respect it. I respect it.
I'll tell you what, I've really enjoyed observing this. One day I hope to participate a little more.
If you dig yourself a hole, Schuller,
that's the problem.
You get silly.
You lost 14 the first week.
Yeah, when we tried to tell you don't take Van Buren over Lipsick and you didn't listen, that's where your bullheadedness, which I respect. Okay, I respect it, but you sometimes let your guard down and let us guide you.
Yeah. That was the last pick I had for Van Buren too. Maybe ever.
We do try to help him, but
we do. But he,
listen, you got to be convicted about some things in life.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
I have no problem. I'm convicted about what I did.
I like it.
So I own that.
Yep.
No problems there. We'll get it sorted out as the season wears down here and we get into the playoffs. Thank you to everybody that tuned in this week. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Friday night, we're all going to be in Oregon Clay as Napoleon rolls in for the NLL Cardinal Division matchup there. Saturday morning, Rise and Rewind, 8 a.m. presented by White Pines Golf Course. Don't forget, stop on out here, get some coffee and some breakfast sandwiches from Specialty Grounds Coffee, and come in here and ask Tory and I a question.
Love it.
It'll be a good morning.
Love it.
Looking forward to it. Have a great week, everyone, and we'll talk to you again next week.